curious, just one thing I found when I've interviewed people in the past is people will come along very often and they don't even know about the company.
Yeah.
And that's a major failing, because when you ask why do you want to work here or what do you know about us, it's so often the case that people will sit there and they actually have no idea what you do. And I think that's another important thing. I don't know if you're going to get on about that, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
You know what research is key? I went for an interview once when I started been doing like this type of work about 5 years. I went to an interview and I'm really passionate about what I do, so I do like loads of development, I go on courses, I pay for my own training a lot of times. So sort of like I had like the skills, I had the knowledge, I had the experience, I had everything. But I didn't do the research properly. Or when I researched online, I didn't find enough stuff out. So I walked into the interview, I had to sit in reception, and behind the receptionist was this like, massive plaque saying like the company name, and it had like the 2 dates of how long the company had been going. I thought, fantastic, I'm going to use that. The company's been going for 25 years. So I get in there, and the interview goes, what do you know about the company? So I said, you do this, that, and the other, and I went, and I think you've been around for about 25 years, haven't you? Like dead cocky, but like nailed this one. The guy goes, no, we've been around for like 55 years. We've been in this building though for 25 years. We're like about a massive ceremony. A couple of months ago, we got a plaque over reception. It's like, oh, always do your research. So anyway, I don't want to just tell you things. I want to know what you want to gain from this 2-hour session. So what is stopping your interview success? So I want you to shout out just a couple of different things. So is it confidence? Is it your interview answers? Is it being overconfident, underconfident? Because what I want to do is tailor these 2 hours to help you as individuals. So I don't want to just tell you things I know. I want it to make it real for you. So what sort of things, Melody, are stopping you being successful in a job interview?
I think as a foreigner, it always happens about when they ask you a question you don't understand what they're talking about.
Oh, right, so they ask you a question, you're like, what the hell is this about? Okay.
Like, for example, they put some very difficult words in the question, and if I just, in that moment, if I receive the question, I will think, should I ask what's the meaning of this word? If I ask this, I think they might think I'm not professional. If I guess, I might get the answer wrong. So I think this will be something like really become a barrier for international students.
Definitely. We get like loads of oddball questions. You'll hear like Amazon or not Tesco's, but like these big organisations like Google and stuff like that, asking oddball questions like how many people buy a Big Mac each day in America? It's like, what the hell's that got to do with this sort of job? So let's write oddball questions on there and we'll cover that. So Nikki, what's stopping you being successful in job interviews?
Oh, I get them, but I think I'm overconfident.
Overconfident.
So I under-prepare.
Under-prepare. Okay, so preparation. How about yourself?
I think it's just confidence and just trying to probably get across what I'm trying to say. I just find myself getting lost in my head and then losing the words and just blanking.
Yeah, like, do you end up like talking and talking and talking?
No, I would start talking, but it doesn't make sense. And then I realise I'm not making any sense, so I shut up. It's just like awkward sentence.
Yeah, I used to do that going on dates. Turn up and I'm like, hey, and I'm just like, what the hell am I on about? We're talking about my cat or something. But good. So yeah, over talking and confidence. Yeah. Anything else?
Mate, you know they are evaluating you, so like you're afraid to say anything that might be wrong.
So is that when you go to the all-day interviews and they evaluate you all day?
Yeah, like you know, like every word you say.
Yeah.
They are like taking notes.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you're kind of nervous.
Yeah. Do you know, if you do the all-day interviews as well, I think it's quite clever from an employer to do that, because you can do all this practice and prepping, you can sort of go in there, but on all day, like, they're going to see different things, aren't they? Because you can't be on top form, you can't be an actor all day. And when I did my last all-day interview, you did like presentations, you did group work exercises, you did loads of stuff. They observed you doing like coaching things, and then you did one-to-one interviews as well. So it's like this like full-on, like big interview. And one of the things they did though is provided dinner, which is really good. But when you start eating your dinner, so you eat your dinner, you let your guard down a little bit, you sort of like chill out a little bit. And then they started talking to you, and I'm thinking, this sounds like an interview, this. You sometimes have to be on it all the time, don't you, as well? So yeah, making sure you're not saying the wrong thing. Yeah, we'll cover that as well. Do you know what? They'll say the wrong thing, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. Yeah. So is there anything else that people want to, hopefully you start thinking, I hope they talk about this today, or I want to know about that, or I hope this comes up?
I tend to ramble a bit. I get the question and I think, oh, I actually do a lot of prep for interviews. I list the questions and prepared answers and things. And then they ask me something, and I've got that answer, and I just ramble. And I'm trying to get in so much information.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it. I probably need how to structure it concisely, because I'm just trying to throw in everything that I know. And I get to the point I kind of run out of steam, because I go, and I realise I'm talking too much, and I can see they know I'm talking too much, and I kind of go, oh my and they kind of finish, because I'm just trying to throw everything into it. And I think questions that really throw you, questions that maybe you haven't prepared for, or you may have prepared a similar question, and you don't know whether that's exactly what they're after sometimes.
Yeah, that voice in your head, don't you, going, shut up, now you said enough. No, be quiet.
Yeah, shut up! It's actually the conversation I'm having with myself, but I can't seem to. So I think, I need to tell them that, I need to tell them that, I need to put that in. Because you have such a short period of time to kind of.
Yeah, like the average is 45 minutes. You asked about 8 to 10 questions in 45 minutes. And you got to give your whole experience and your skill and unique selling points in this really short structure. Okay. So we'll start with this one actually. We'll talk about that a little bit more. So just the first thing I want you to do then is just as a group, I just want you to shout out some like common asked interview questions, and we'll just, if we can write a couple of these out on the board. So what are the interview questions that people are being asked, or you think you're going to get asked in interviews? Yeah, strengths and weaknesses. What was yours, Kevin?
Describe a certain situation and how you handled it.
Yeah, like your skills and your skill
competency questions.
Yeah. Okay. What did you say, Nikki?
Why do you want to work for this company?
Yeah.
And why do you apply for this position?
Yeah. So why do you want to work for this company? Why are you applying for this position? Yeah. Strengths and weaknesses. Give me an example when you've done this skill, or give me an example when you've done that. Yeah. What other sort of things do you get asked?
Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
Simple, but a lot of people struggle to answer that
Yeah,
question.
they do, don't they? Yeah.
I'm really interested in seeing what you meant to say to that sort of stuff.
Why are you leaving your current company?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be?
What else? Anything else?
Why should we hire you?
Why should we hire you? Yeah. Okay. Good. So we'll write these down. So just to give you like a bit of an overview, we're going to go into some of these a little bit more detail. And these common ask ones that you all mentioned there, they're all in the ebook that I'm going to send you as well. So when you get home and you read that, it'll give you like a bit more detail. We're going to do a lot on like strategies today, where you can use strategies to make your interview more powerful, and the ebook will give you the actual answers that you can do. But just generally speaking, you tend to get 10 interview questions in 45 minutes. And the first ones are really just to get you talking a lot. So often the interviewer will tell you a little bit about their company, because this is the thing that people don't realise as well. On average, 300 people apply for every advertised job, and the interview on average 6 people for that position. So they absolutely love you. You've made it through this like massive amount of applications. They sent you a job spec, and on the job spec there's like a load of criteria, and it's either essential, you've got to have this, or we're not going to interview you, or it's desirable, if you've got this, it's like a massive bonus for us. These are the things we really want you to have, but if you haven't, and you meet the criteria, then that's really good. So you're better than 294 other applicants. So you should be like having a massive smile on your face thinking, fantastic, I made it through. All you got to do now is convince the interviewer that you're a better employee, or you can add more value to the organisation than the other 5 candidates. So what they do, because they want you, they'll first tell you about their company, about their values, about their mission, about new contracts that they're bidding for, or new businesses that they're opening, or how their company is growing as an organisation, or how they're going to develop their staff. They'll have like a little sales pitch to try and get you on board. Because if you are a really good employee, you're going to be applying for lots of different jobs, and you'll probably have 3 or 4 different job interviews or university interviews lined up. And they know that as a competitor hires you, they'll lose you as an employee, but then that competitor might make more money, might have better productivity, might have a better team because they took you on. So if you're one of the 6 being interviewed, they want you. And that's what you've got to always remember. They want you. You need to decide if you want them. That's just as important as if they want you. So they'll start off giving a big sales pitch. So they'll tell you about their company. And then to get you talking, they ask you all these questions like, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are your experience in this job sector? Designed just to get you talking, really. And then generally speaking, start going into this stuff about what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, give me an example when you can do this, these sort of questions that you've been talking about. And then depending on your job sector, they tend to have really specific questions. So if you're working maybe in the public sector, or if you're working with vulnerable people, they will ask you questions about safeguarding. If you're working in project management, they might ask you strategies for project management. They start asking you sector-specific questions for that particular organisation. And this is where you need to be researching a little bit. And then they finish it off with that common ask question, do you have any questions for us? But what you need to do is predict these questions, because what you do find, they will ask you one or two of these common ask questions, but it's sort of going away from that now, because we all go on Google and put, what are the 10 common ask questions for interviews, aren't we? And these are the ones that come up, so it's trying to ask you more strength-based interview questions. A lot of companies are doing strength-based interviews now. Have you heard of them before? Where they don't ask you a question, they give you 2 options and see what your preference is. It's a little bit like doing personality and temperament profiles. So they'll ask you, do you work better on your own, or so do you get more energy when working on your own or when working in a team environment? Do you like starting tasks, or do you prefer completing tasks? And it's really tricky actually, because most people can work on their own and can work in a team, but they won't let you answer it like that. They want specific answers to see if your personality, to see if your values match that of the company. So what we need to do is we need to be researching the company. So the first thing you do, and this is just going to be dead briefly because this is actually like really common knowledge, but you need to first read the job criteria and the job specification, because every essential criteria in one form or another will be turned into an interview question.